So, this one's coming out on New Year's Eve, huh? Maybe I should do something special. Or maybe I'll just do what I always do. Hello, I'm Average Joe, and welcome back to the board game. I'll come up with a better name eventually, I'm sure. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Last couple of weeks for me have not been good, or really anything worth celebrating. So I'm just gonna take this time to chill, hang out, maybe bounce between a couple different things on the board game. I know there's one thing I kind of wanted to do. I'd have to check my notes to remember what it is, because I've got the memory of a goldfish. But yeah. I'm thinking today is just going to be time to chill. Now, there was one thing I wanted to do before getting into any of the coding or the building or whatever, and that's to actually show you guys some of the items and what they do in the game. So I'm actually going to pop into a game. Oh, right, I'm in creative, hang on. So I mentioned that there are coins in this game that you can get when you land on blue-orange tiles. So blue tiles will give you the iron coins when you stop on them, and orange tiles give you the gold coins, but they cancel each other out. So it's kind of like if you could go into debt in Mario Party, except you can pay off your debt with your debt. Maybe that's not the best. Yeah, that's probably not the best analogy here. But yeah, your gold coins, if you collect them, cancel out any iron coins you have. Any iron coins you have cancel out any gold coins you have. Which I thought was actually kind of cool, but it's introduced some challenging gameplay designs. Well, gameplay design problems, I should say. For example, if the number of gold and iron, of blue and orange spaces is even, then if a person rolls random numbers, more often than not, they're just going to end up with an average of 0 coins the entire game. Which you can probably imagine is difficult. So what I've actually done for the tutorial map is that I've made a couple different lanes here. So you can kind of see there's 2 paths you can follow. When you start down this one, there's a path that has majority blue and a path that has majority orange. The way I've set it up is that the valleys in this map have majority orange tiles, which means if you take that path, you're more likely to get orange coins. If you take the other paths, you're more likely to get blue coins because there are more blue tiles. And then when you're on the singular lane, it's pretty even. There are spots where there's 2 oranges grouped together, but that should make it so you can get the coins of your choice when you're playing. Something else I've done specifically for the tutorial garden is these little features here. This one, I believe, turns gold coins into iron ones, and that one turns iron coins into gold ones, or vice versa. I don't actually remember which one is which. I suppose I could check. I actually put the command block directly underneath solid gold things. Yeah, Yeah, it turns the one full of gold turns gold into iron, the one full of iron turns iron into gold. And if that is confusing to you, yeah, it's confusing to me too. I need to figure out a better way of demonstrating that. But yeah, while I was going around this map, I actually discovered something interesting. Let me see if I can get some coins so I can actually show you. Oh, I think we want to go down the white statue path. Right, 3 coins. Minigame. Ah. This is the minigame that I told you guys about that was kind of bad. It's literally just running up to the top of a mountain that's got water flowing down. When I initially made it, I thought it was pretty interesting. Even though the map doesn't change, you can knock people backwards to try and get to the top the fastest. And all of the water at the top pushing people backwards can make it harder to get to the end. Which I think, if you've got a bunch of people there, having them all fighting for it would be interesting, at the very least. I got 9 coins, I think that's all I need. Oh, hey, come back. Oh, so rude. Yeah, so I have a couple of these, like, food things you can get. Oh, hey. I forgot that they hold the stuff. Yeah, I've got a couple of food things you can get here. And one of them is chocolate that makes you tiny. But the interesting thing was that because of the changes to food components they made in 1.21.4, the Pale Garden thing, they were broken. But now, I'm tiny. And this is actually how I was tiny in the first video that I did with all of this data pack stuff. You can eat the chocolate again to become big, but at the end of a minigame, you, well, I'll show you. At the end of a minigame, it kills you to bring you back to your spot. Oh, you know what? I hadn't... Oh, here we go. Yeah, so when you die at the end of the minigame, you lose your tiny. Also can't eat the... Oh, no, there we go. Which means I actually can't... Oh, I can't get big again. Well, anyways. I've actually added some little, sneaky things in the tutorial store here. And I think I want to add little sneaky things to every store. Ooh. Don't actually know what to do from here. But yeah, the store has kind of come like this sort of tiny parkour thing. And I never actually got to show off how these lottery things work, did I? You do actually literally just feed it the coins from your inventory. Turns out you can change the items that vaults accept. And because of some data manipulation, these are infinitely reusable. I got myself a low roll dice. Only rolls 1, 2, or 3. Not that it matters, because I already did my roll this turn. Ah, that was probably the Simon Says one. Got a high roll dice. Yeah, those are most of the interesting things in this board. To win the Tudor Garden, you actually need to make your way over to this obelisk here. And one thing I didn't realize when I made this area was that the biome I changed this to has ambient sounds. This is Basalt Delta ambient, I believe. It is Basalt Delta, isn't it? Yeah. Which makes sense. Nether does have a bit more ambiance than the overworld. But it does kind of fit the creepy vibe I was trying to do with this. It's almost like the obelisk here is some kind of incursion, and the cherry trees around the edge are holding it off. In fact, if I just fly up here, you can see that I used the little red tendrils and the obsidian to almost make it seem like it's just growing and spreading. And that kind of did lead to sort of not an inside joke, but internal treatment of the boards, where there's at least one cherry thing and one kind of supernatural incursion kind of thing going on, and the cherry trees kind of fight back from the incursion. Oh, there's also the cherry tree here. You can actually get to here by landing directly on that green space. What does the sign say? As part of the tutorial, pink tiles will give you something whenever you go over them. I don't remember what these ones do. I think they just give you iron coins. I forgot I did that. I did not forget that I was actually planning on putting a little sales thing here, but I never got around to it. There's quite a few things that that are kind of unfinished in this, even though it's like one of the more complete maps. Alright, started playing. Let me see. So I need to get to a minigame to show this to you. I'm going to stay outside, go down this way. We will go down the alley. Right. And turn, do the minigame. Anyways. Night dice? Yes. Okay. So this board, whenever you complete its minigames, will actually give you dice that are inspired by the pieces in chess. So we've got nice dice, knight dice, there is rook dice, pawn dice, queen dice, all of that stuff. But the thing I'm really proud of was that the pawn dice will actually promote themselves. Let me see what kind of dice I get this time. Oh, just another knight dice. Okay, so I'm gonna pause and just give myself like a bunch of the actual like dice. Alright, cool. And queen. So you have an equal chance of getting black or white of either piece. There are pawns, bishops, knights, queens, and rooks, and your chances of getting each one is based off of how many pieces there are on the board. If I just pull up the actual loot tables for those, pawns have a weight of 8 for the white and a weight of 8 for the black, because there's 8 of each. 2 for white knights, 2 for black knights, etc, etc. So I'm actually considering how many I've got. Kind of surprised that we only got 1 knight dice. The pawn dice rolls for 1 and 2, and that is because pawns in chess can actually move 2 spaces if it is the first movement they make. Like if you're moving that pawn for the first time, you can move it 2 spaces, and then every time after that you move it 1 space. Bishop dice can roll for 1, 3, 5, or 7, and I kind of base that off of the fact that bishops move diagonally, as opposed to the rooks, who go 2, 4, 6, and 8, and they can only move like up and down and left and right. So I made the bishops basically be an upgraded version of the odd numbered dice, and rooks be an upgraded version of the even numbered dice. See, odd and even dice will only, between them, roll between 1 and 6, but I made all of the chess dice roll between 1 and 8, because there are 8 rows and columns on a chessboard. Now, the knight dice was kind of tricky to figure out, because knights on chess will move forward 1 and then diagonally, jumping over any piece that is in their way and capturing whatever they land on. So I figured you'd go 1, then forward, diagonal, land on 4, and you know what, I don't have a very good justification for this. I don't remember why I did 1, 4, 5, and 8. I think I was just... Oh, I get it. So 1 is the first one for bishop, 4 is the second one for rook, 5 is the third one for bishop, and 8 is the fourth one for rook. I basically took the rook and the bishop dice options and put them onto the knight, because the knight moves forward, moves like straight and then diagonally, so combining the straight and diagonal properties of the rook and bishop into the knight. The queen just rolls for 1 to 8. So whether or not that's a good thing is up to you. Now, the main thing with these chess pieces is that on the end of your turn, if you have a pawn dice in your inventory, it has a chance to promote itself to one of these other dice. There's one last dice that I can't actually show you because I'm pretty sure you can only get it in the store. And that is the 0 dice. I believe... I can just check the code really quick. So I have plans for like items you can buy with the gold blocks and emerald blocks from when you win a board. Sorry, not the gold, but the diamond or emerald blocks you get from winning games. And one of those is the 0 dice, a dice that you roll and you don't move, you just stay on the space that you're at. I am unsure if that will be useful, but they do it in Mario Party, so we'll see. Well, there's one last thing I want to show off before anything else. I actually have no idea how long I've been rambling. And it's actually back in the manor. I've been working on the tiling, where all of the tiles are meant to go, using these placeholder ones here. And I think I've finally figured out how the library is going to look. And while there are bits and pieces around here, the main event is around the corner. When you were a kid, did you ever just take furniture and pillows and blankets and just make a fort? Well, that's what this is. I had initially started putting down some furniture to fill in the empty space, and it was a lot of the same, so I figured I would try stacking some of the tables on top of each other. And it kind of looked like a tower, and I wanted to be able to climb up there, so I used some carpeting to make a little bridge. And then I decided I'd put in some parkour so that you could get up there from the bottom. And it kind of spiraled into this little civilization in the library that's using the furniture as buildings, places to sleep and hide from the eyes. I kind of like this. I have like a little headcanon, I guess, that there was just a little civilization that got stuck in here, and they just did what they could with what they have. And I kind of, when I make the kitchen, I want there to be like a little excursion from the library, going there and collecting food. And I did actually make it so that you could get on top here. And there is a little hole, well, I say little hole, relatively little hole, in the middle that takes you down here. And don't worry, fall damage is actually turned off on this map. And this is where I'm going to put the store. It's a little big, so lighting it up is going to be difficult. And detailing it's going to also be difficult. I'm not even sure where I'm going to put the villager. But yeah, that is what I've been doing up here. It's been kind of nice to take little puzzle pieces of the sofas and the bookshelves and the carpets and the lamps and turning them into larger buildings. Carpets really help because those can basically be any size, and putting them on top of the lamps makes for like an entryway of sorts. But you can also stack them on top of tables and stuff to make roofs, and I don't know. It's been an interesting building experience. Kind of a different constraint than what I'm used to, turning the actual furniture into buildings itself. I kind of want to do something along the edge here, but there isn't a lot of space. So I kind of imagine it as just where people go to get out of, like, this busier section. And there needs to be something on that wall. That wall is big, so is that wall, but that has the way out. Something needs to go in this empty space, and I have no idea what. And I don't want to figure that out. But yeah, that's been everything I've done in the library. I think I might have to work on some of the missing things in the other boards before I do a lot more in here. Anyways, I should go to the I should go to the chest city and start working on a shop. Maybe give it some specific items or something. Although first things first, I actually have to figure out where I'm going to be putting it. Although that answer is pretty obvious if I'm honest. Underneath all of this is just big empty space, so I can just do something down here. Should also have some unique stuff for city, but I'm not sure what to do. I do kind of want to keep it chest themed though. Everything on this board should be chest themed. Okay, so I think instead of making the store in the bottom there, I'm gonna try making it in one of the giant chess pieces that are floating around. I've picked out the rook here because it's not exactly the straightest, but I think I can get a pretty decent sized room out of it. Just need to get my wands ready. Ah, fuck. Okay, got that working. Just gotta figure out a good sized square here. I think this could be a good place for a store. Doesn't feel 100% right though. It's a bit too dungeony. Like it feels like this is where they put people in like stock and chains and stuff. Right, okay. So I should, in that case, lower the roof by 1 so that I can convert it to a different kind of block. Let's say, feels just a bit too dark. I guess we could do the pale wood. Maybe along the Y? Yeah, alright. And for the bottom, we can have it be concrete. Black concrete. Maybe the powder? Hold on, let's see how this one looks. Why? Oh god, what am I supposed to do here? This is legitimately hurting my eyes and my ears. I really need to figure out a way to check and see if the block that's attempting to be filled is in fact something that uses the X or Y axis. And then just delete that data if it's not, because that is genuinely just so annoying. Regardless, this looks better. It feels less like the dungeon underneath a castle and a lot more like a building. But what do I want to do for decoration? Also, do I want to lower this down, raise it up? I think 5 blocks high is just enough. I think it's been, well, a few hours by this point. And I've done some decorations here. You've got... this is kind of meant to be like a gas station, I guess, because what is a modern American city without a gas station. And I've got a little vending machine here, which is where you can do the coin lottery. I did lock this crafter, but you got your keypad, you got your dispensers. The vaults do launch their items into the glass above them, but because of the way everything kind of is put together here, it'll launch out at the player, or it kind of in the direction of the player at the very least. You have aisles of stuff that are way too close together, although I probably could have gotten these closer together. It's fine. You got your freezer items in your big, like, cooler area, and a big rack of snacks in front of the register where you're supposed to buy everything, but it never has the thing you want. It still feels a little empty, like it could use some more details, but I can't think of anything at the moment. The next thing to do is to get the villager in there. But I have done, like, a bunch of stuff. You can actually step out onto the actual chest city again. Like I said, I kind of decorated everything. I haven't made a way to get in there yet, so dropping the go-to store item in Chest City still won't take you here. But I think I'm gonna have players kind of spawn on this block, probably. Hopefully facing the cashier, because that's where the villager who has all their stuff is going to be. There's no, like, little secrets in this one, not yet. Hopefully I will add some eventually, but Chest City kind of became more about the detail than the actual secrets. But yeah, I think that is some work done. I did lighting using carpets. It stands out a lot. I think I can place that one because I have a cauldron with lava in there. The thing is, then the other ones kind of stand out a bit more, so it kind of makes sense just to have one there anyways. But yeah, that is that so far. I don't know what to do next. Probably just get that villager commands put in. Alright guys, that is it for today. I've come a long way in making this little store, but I've run out of time. If you like the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. I enjoy making data packs and working on this big game here, so there will be more of this in the future. But yeah, thank you, and goodbye.